Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Once. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, so fine. So here, as you know, we'll definitely learn in this entire course. We'll definitely learn something about the UiPath, which is a major RPA tool. And before that, if I want to introduce myself a bit, I am currently having 8+ years of overall experience in RPM. I'm working since last five, almost 6 years now. A little more than 6 years, in fact. And that time, I started my career as a .NET developer at that time, but later moved on to RPA. And currently, also, I'm having a bit more experience in business analysis, which is in RPA BA, and also having good experience in all the RPA related activities like handling clients and dealing with the calculations of all, and obviously development. So that's a very brief about me. So in the curriculum designed by Radical Technology, what we will do, this is a very brief, very brief overview of the entire curriculum. So here, first, we will definitely uh, have a very brief introduction, or very not brief, very detailed introduction of RPA and UiPath. So before we start this, can you please tell me what is the full form of RPA?
Robotic process automation.
Great. So it's robotic process automation. So as the name suggests, definitely there should be something which is robotic, not human intervened, and definitely there should be a process, a very defined process. And when I say automation, there should be some sort of automation. And let me clear a thing very, let me tell this thing very clearly, that automation doesn't mean it would be a robot always. Automation means it can be anything, like anything which is not requiring any human intervention in between is an automation. That doesn't mean it will always be a full-face robot. So in UiPath is basically a technology, or a tool in RPA. So using that, we can create definitely more reliable and intelligent robots. Then we would learn about the installation of the UiPath and the basic operations, like what are the different components of this UiPath, what are the use of them. So that we would learn next, and after that, we would learn about various activities and data types of UiPath. So when I say activities, so you can write it down that activities are the key of UiPath. Whatever you do, whatever we create in UiPath, everything we do using some of the activities. And data type data types are, if you have a bit coding knowledge, you'd know that in coding we have some data types, fixed data types, like it can be integers, it can be strings, it can be booleans to store different setup data. We'll definitely discuss later during the course. Then we learn the control flow and loops, and this is the most important thing in any type of RPA, be it UiPath, be it other tools, doesn't matter, these concepts should remain the same. The control flow
So
means,
user looks is similarly in C type, C language, just
absolutely,
like for
yes,
loop, do while loop. Yes,
yes, absolutely, but it would look a bit different because in C you write codes, right? But in
okay.
UiPath you do not need to write codes always, so definitely it would look
Only
different.
activity.
Yes, so you
Okay,
will have to do it using activities. It would look different, but function wise it is exactly the same.
okay.
And more apart from this also, sorry, yeah, apart from this, in the loops also, apart from these common loops for do while you, we would have some more loops, some more a bit more advanced or specific loops as well, so that we'll discuss. And control flow means definitely the flow of the entire process. from which point should it start, where should end, the path it should follow. And then we would learn about the data manipulation. Data manipulation is also a very important thing, because data manipulation means changing, mostly the changing the data type, and sometimes changing the data as well, to make the robot work. Because when I say robot, just to make it very clear, that robot cannot work in any environment. Robot, all the robots you create, all the robots we create since last many years, all those robots need a particular environment, a fixed environment to work. So not only environment, when I say environment, it includes the input, the output, the place where it's working, the target applications where it's working. Everything has to be very structured. So data manipulation is important. Why? Because sometimes our robots will get unstructured inputs, or maybe some scattered inputs. So for that, the robot would need to manipulate that input to make the actual process work. So there, the manipulation is very important. And then the user interface automation, which is the recordings. So this is a very good feature of UiPath, where we can record the entire process, and that definitely helps the developers to get a brief idea that where to start, where to end. It's like when you are recording, it would be using like a template we usually have in Word or MS Office functions, and anywhere. Like whenever there is a process, a developer doesn't know where to start, what to do first, then simple way to do a recording. That recording will give you a predefined template. So using the template, it can be a bit modified to get this actual work done. So if I move next, apart from all these things on a bit advanced stage, we would learn these things as well, which are the advanced automation, the input output methods of the robot, the selectors. So this is a very, very important thing in RPA. So in UiPath, I would say. So selectors are, if you say, for a human, the role the blood plays. For a robot, selectors play the same role. So selectors are the blood of a robot, you can say. So everywhere, everything, when there is an UI means user interface. So there you need a selector, a proper selector to make that robot work. Then we'll come to image and text automations, that where the robot would read or do something with images and text. Then Excel and Word automations. This Excel automation is very important, because the most important thing is for the robot is structured input. So when I say structured input, a best possible tool to give the robot a structured input is Excel. So definitely you need to learn Excel a bit more, how to deal with Excel different functionalities, and how the robot thinks about Excel and Word. That's important. Then this PDF and email automations, how to read or deal with PDF files which are non-editable, and email automations, how to read emails, send emails, and do so many things. Then we'd learn at last the debugging and exception handling. So debugging means, if you have a bit knowledge of coding, debugging means to debug the code, like to run the code step by step, one after one another. And exception handling means it's to handle the errors, the known errors, which will come in place. And this is important. Exception handling is very important, because building a robot, especially using UiPath, is very simple. And I'm telling you, even if you don't have any coding knowledge, you don't know anything on RPA, it would take only 1 week at maximum to develop a robot for you. So within 1 week, you will learn how to develop, and you definitely by that time you will develop some robot. But that robot would not be able to work in any situation, because in robot, the most common thing which we call is a happy path of the robot. Happy path means where everything is good, like wherever the robot is trying to do something, that's happening. Whatever the robot is expecting, that's coming. So everything is happening with the robot is good. So that's called the happy path. So developing a robot in happy path is very simple, very, very simple. But when you are a developer, you'll have to build a robot which can work in unhappy paths as well, in exception paths, where the robot's expectation is not meeting where some inputs are not structured, when something is happening which is the robot is not designed for, then how to deal with that. That is most important. That is called the exception handling. So these thing we will learn. So this is the overall syllabus what we have in this entire curriculum. So any question till this point?
What is the difference between happy path and unhappy path?
Well, good. So let me give you a very simple example. So suppose think about you. You suppose you're going to a shop, and when you are leaving your home, someone told you to buy 1 kg of a particular brand's rice. Say for example. So now what you think at first? Simple. I'll go out of the home and I'll go to the first shop nearby to me, and I'll order. I will get the rice for me.
Okay.
For right now, this is the happy path. For you, the happy path would be like you're going out of your home. In the first shop near to your home, you get that particular brand's rice, and you get it. You come back to home. That's a very happy path for you. Now, what would be the unhappy path? Suppose you go out of the home, you find that the first shop is closed. You go to a second shop, you find that that's also closed. You go to a third one, that is also closed, or that is not having the particular brand size. You check this blanket, that's not having that price. You check big basket, that is not having that price. You go to Amazon, now you got that price is there. So you order it. So now the thing is, this is the unexpected. Because why? Because you will have to take so many decisions. Since you are a human, you think it like it is very simple for you. You check this option, that option, and third option. Then the
It is
then
like
the
a means it is like a unhappy path means the critical path, I can say.
critical part, because you'll have to take decisions here. You have
Decisions.
to,
Okay.
yes, imagine it. Because when you are building a robot is a newborn baby for you. The
Okay.
robot doesn't know anything at all.
Anything.
So these are the decisions, because so many steps are involved here. Just think about this. You go to the first shop, so your motto was to get that rice, right?
Reason.
But what you have seen, the shop is closed. Now
Closed.
you will have
There
to,
is no.
yeah, so you'll have to understand that what is the logic behind it. You'll have to see the shop shutter is down. That means you'll have to analyze that image. You know that if the shop shutter is down, that means it's closed, right? But the robot doesn't know it. Robot have to read the data in front what it can see, then have to analyze what does it mean. The shop is closed. Now we'll have to take another decision that if the shop is closed, I cannot get the rice from here. Now it will have to take another decision that what is my second option. Then it will have to find out the path to go to the second shop, then have to go to a second shop, then do the same step. Getting my point? So there are so many decisions in between.
Okay,
So
sir.
that is what the exception paths we call. And here's a very simple example. If I complicate it a bit more, suppose you go out of the home and suddenly it's raining. You don't have an umbrella or raincoat with you. So then also you have some complicated decision makings. Where to stand? Either should I return home back, or should I go move forward? These all the decisions would make your entire journey of getting that rice into your home would make your journey complicated. For the robot, these are the unhappy paths. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So why RPA is important? What we discuss next, the importance of the RPA technology. So first and foremost, the most important thing is it improves the efficiency and generates savings. That is the basic goal of every organization who goes for RPA. So efficiency improvement and generate savings means what? Suppose there is a transactional job. So transactional job, you know what are the transactional jobs? Any idea?
Repetitive tasks.
Yes, mostly. It's like a less brain involved repetitive task. Those are the transactional jobs. For example, in your life, at some day you must have updated the KYC documents in any of the bank, right? So you have submitted a handwritten form sometimes, where you have written your name, phone number, and all, and you have submitted to the bank. And then what the bank does, the bank have to hire a data entry operator for this. They'll have to read every form, and using that form, they'll have to enter the data in the bank system. So this is called a simple data entry job. Getting it? And this is in high volume. Every day, one particular person who is doing this job may have to do 200, 300 KYC forms. So that is very, very repetitive and very less brain involved here. So here, what we can do, we can, for this type of work using robot, we can improve the efficiency. And why I say efficiency, because when you a human is doing this, they can get tired. They will have to have a tea in between. They will have to drink waters and all. So they will take some break if you're doing, if you're asking them to do such job, right? But the robot will not ask for those. The robot would not ask for tea. The robot would not ask for any water. It would not fall sleepy. So definitely it will improve the efficiency of the end-to-end task and generate savings. Why generate savings? Because using robot we can do these tasks faster. And when I can do it faster, definitely I save time. And generate savings always doesn't mean saving money. It's sometimes it's saving the time, obviously, and improve the experience of the clients as well. So if I move further, it is errorless, reliable, and logical. So why it's errorless? As I said, in the same data entry operation example, if just you imagine a person is reading 200 forms one after one and entering then data into this system, so there are high probability at some point that person can make some mistake. Maybe the spelling of the name can go wrong with the phone number, maybe the address sometimes go wrong. And most of us, most of the Indians, they must have faced this example, this thing. Why when they were trying to get their epic card, this voter card, I say, their name, their address, all these things, sometimes they, in most of the cases, something are wrong there, a letter or a number or something. But if you are using a robot for this would definitely become errorless, because the robot does not have brain. It will not think about other things. It will do whatever is instructed. And that is the reason why it is reliable as well, because the robot will definitely not take a break. It will not ask for promotions. It will not ask for incentives. It will not ask for leaves. If you deploy a robot for such task, it can work 24 into 7. It can work till the point it's having data to work. And obviously logical, because without logic robots cannot work. If I move forward, it is a proper utilization of human resources. This is a very important point, why RPA is important. If I think about 5 to 6 years back from now, maybe in 2016, 2017. So ideally in India, this RPA got introduced in 2016 mostly. Before that also, there are some RPAs in India, but from 2016, the major companies, the big companies, they started adopting this RPA. So that time in 2016, 17, 18, that time a concept was very popular in the field, that these robots eat jobs of people. Like that time people used to say that if you are building a robot, that definitely one person would become jobless at some day, because the robot will replace that person in that job. It was a concept that time. Now also, you if you work in industry, you will find someone to say these things. So that's not the actual thing. That's a myth. That's not the truth. The robot, yes, the robot can replace a human when there is a transactional job, but it cannot make a person jobless. If you think about this example, if you think from an organization's point of view, suppose in my organization I am hiring a BTech, and I am giving that BTech a simple L1 support or chat support kind of job. Do you know what is L1 support? Any idea in IT?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. L1 supports means a very basic level of support. Like the suppose what I would say. Suppose you in any website, suppose you are trying to logging in and your password got expired, you called the service center, you dropped a mail to them, they just reset your password. It must have happened sometimes, and they give you access. There's a team sitting behind who is giving you access, resetting passwords and doing very basic things. Those called the L1 support. No technical gyan is required. I mean, technical knowledge is required there. No experience is required. It's only about knowing the system. So suppose in an organization, what I was saying, I have hired a BTech and a very proficient computer science engineer, and I have given a job to that person for this L1 support and chat support. Like whenever you open any website nowadays, you will find a chat support uh, at mostly at the bottom right corner. What? How can I help you, sir? Like this. So because now that person, that BTech person, uh, would he or she be very happy in this in this job? I think no, because there is no brain involved. It's a simple job for him. Haha. So here, what I can do, if I implement a chat bot in place of that, which will give the chat support, and implement a basic L1 support robot, which can give access, revoke access, extend access, and all. So definitely, then I can use this BTech resource in some other value-added services or value-added jobs, where I can give that person a development role, developer role, or give that person help that person to learn something new, to do some new things. So that is how I can use my human resources. So these robots, they they does not make, I would say, one person or some people jobless. Definitely no. They give opportunity to the human resources of an organization to learn more, learn new things. Next is the seize opportunities for scale. So here also, I mean, whatever robots we make, those are highly scalable. So when I say scalable, scalable means, if you know that scalable means, uh, same thing we can use for small scale and we can use for large scale. Like suppose in your mechanical term, maybe I'm saying I'm using, suppose I'm creating seats for a car. I can use that in small vehicles. I can use that in SUVs. I can use that same seat in larger vehicles as well. So that's called scalable. Scalable means a solution I'm building that can be used for small kind of things or also big things. Next advantage of RPA is 24/7 operational resources. That's true. So if you think about from a very good organization's point of view, then getting a resource who will work for 24/7 is not possible. So if you need to do some work in 24/7 mode, that is 24 hours a day, you'll have to deploy three resources in that, in shifts, 8 hour shift, right? And if I deploy three resources in 8 hour shifts, definitely from an organization, I'll have to give them shift allowances, the other benefits. So apart from that, instead of doing that, what I can do, I can implement a simple robot which can work 24/7 without any shift allowance and without any other cost. So that's the good thing. Next, if I uh, tell this one, this proper logging with minimal time consumption. So logging means when a robot is working alone, logging is very important because uh, every system, if you know from in IT, if I develop a simple .NET application as well, I will write logs in that. What is happening? What are the steps this code is following? So in robot also we write logs. So logs are very important because it helps us to analyze what steps the robot has performed, what it did, and what decisions it has taken, and based on what data. So that's important. And minimal time consumption, as I said, robots are usually faster than human. Next topic, if I discuss the advantages and disadvantages. So uh, till this point, I was telling you the advantages mostly of the RPA. So that is not the only thing. Everything in this world should have some disadvantages as well, apart along with disadvantages. So RPA also having some disadvantage. So if I discuss this, so advantages would be, I'll discuss the advantages first. It would be reliable work with zero probability of human errors. We have discussed already. Generate cost savings and efficiency. That also we have discussed. highly scalable and replicable, yes, and capable of working all day to complete tasks faster, 24 into 7 operational. Now, what are the disadvantages? The first disadvantage is high attrition rate. So, this is a problem for organizations. If I discuss real-time data of 2022 or 2021 in India in software industry, the attrition rate was very very high due to so many reasons, very high that time. So RPA is one of those. RPA is one of the major reason for an organization to which is responsible for this high attrition rate, and that is not a good thing for the organization. Less KT to juniors. The second point. This is very important because sometimes
Sir,
it's a
what is
practical.
attrition rate?
Okay, attrition rate means it's a rate at which the resources are leaving the company every year. So if you're a 100 employee in India, suppose, and in that year, suppose 20 employees has left your organization, then your attrition rate is 20%. Clear?
Okay.
So, hello?
Okay, sir. I
Uh,
get it.
okay. And then the next point is let's get it to juniors. Like this is a very practical example. So let's get it to juniors means suppose in a process you have automated, and in RPA this is very make it very clear that in RPA we are not doing anything new. We are not building something new because here we build something, we automate some task which uh, is already there. Like some people are doing this now, we can automate that. RPA cannot do something new. So so here what happens usually for a large process, we do not create robots at one go. We do it phase wise in agile method, we say. So we start with a very small phase, then we move that up further more space, and then like that we cover the entire part. So and it happens practically, it happens so many times that initially you may predict to automate the entire task, but practically sometimes it's not possible. So we may end up by automating only 40% of it. That happens very commonly. So now the problem is what is less scheduled to juniors, that is uh, when the robot was not there, some people were doing that, right? And when the robot got introduced, or when the robot is working, so that those persons who were actually doing that earlier, now they are giving the input to the robot, right? Now if some new person is joining in the team, so then these persons who are giving input to a robot, they do not give KT. KT means knowledge transfer, or they do not give these downloads to the new joiners, because they do not give the entire process what they were doing earlier before the robot as a KT to the juniors. What they do, hey, they usually give the input creation process of robot or handling the robot process as a KT. So that is the problem of the organization, because uh, if for some case the robot fails someday, someone has to do that job manually. But these people who are new, if they are not getting proper KT, they are unable to do that because they don't even know the steps how to do it. And then the next point is unplanned transformation. For some organizations, especially for some small organizations, there this problem is very big one, that unplanned transformation. So suddenly RPA got introduced, and then some robots are built, but no, without planning. So that may cause problem as well. So these are some basic advantages and disadvantages of a robot. So any question till this? So I'll take that as no. Let me move forward. Yeah. So now we discuss what is the differentiator of UiPath with the parallel technologies, the other competitors in the market. First is UiPath is more agile, flexible licensing model, and low cost of entry. The best RPA platform, I would say, which can help you to work in the end-to-end RPA lifecycle. And combination of attended and unattended automations, and the most important thing, having the citizen version. Sorry, so citizen version means the free version of UiPath, the community version, what we call. So these are the basic advantages of UiPath over the other RPA tools in market. If I move forward, now what are the job opportunities for UiPath? So if you're learning UiPath, so if you now by this time you must have known that what is the UiPath and what we do it. So you will have to switch into a technical role where you build robots mostly. So if you know UiPath at some point of time, what jobs you can get in market? The first and the most important one is a developer job. A very simple, straightforward job. You have learned UiPath. Now somewhere you are building robots as a developer. Next, the tester job. So there are teams in nowadays in larger organizations where they do the testing of robots only, not the development. If you have some knowledge about this IT infrastructure, how we work in IT, uh, in software development also there are developer teams who develop codes, and there are testing teams who test the codes and find out the bugs. So RPA also you can work as a tester and developer. Next, as a support person in UiPath, mostly there are teams of UiPath robot support, RPA support. Support means they will have to run the robots or manage the robots which are pre-built, so which are already working in production. There are teams who are doing the support, that's stopping robots, starting robots, and managing somehow though. Then, as a business analyst of RPA, so the role of a business analyst is to bridge the gap between the business and the technical team in RPA. This is a very important role because here the main challenge is main challenge is to deal with different mentalities of people, because technical people have some set of mentality, business people have different set of mentality. So business analyst role is to bridge the gap. For that also you need to know what RPA is, and that person have to be very clear on all the concepts of RPA. Next, as a solution architect or RPA. So this is not for freshers. Business analyst and solution architect are not for freshers, because if someone is learning RPA very afresh, then first they'll have to start as a developer or a tester or a support person. A person with zero experience in RPA cannot do these two things: business analyst and solution architect. Solution architect means the person who designs the entire solution of the RPA, like the solution mapping. They do that, what technology will be used, where we will develop, which phase will go first, everything the solution architect decides. Next, as a program manager. So program manager is the manager of the RPA team, I would say. They manages everything, the benefit calculation, uh, the and the other client management and all. Usually, in some of the organization, this business analyst and manager, these two roles are merged. Same person is playing both the roles. That happens because in RPA, definitely apart from development, we have to do some benefit calculation as well, like RY calculation. I would say RY means return on investment. Like in RPA, initially it's a high investment kind of thing. Like whenever an organization is going for RPA, they'll have to invest high initially. Later they get benefit from it. So that benefit calculation, how would my client get benefit? How would we serve the client more efficiently? That is the benefit calculation. So that business analyst and program manager can do. Solution architect's job is something different. They design the entire solution of RPA. They don't develop in hand, but they hire developers. They do the entire designing. What will be done? And these three roles, as a developer, tester, and support person, these are for the freshers. You can start definitely, and whoever is joining in RPA afresh, they will have to start from these three roles mostly. So if I move forward, then how long this particular technology is in the market. So as I said, in 2015-16 mostly, this UiPath got in 15. This UiPath got introduced in India where they have pivoted their business. They have changed their business models before that. So they are actually in market since 2001, and this is growing fast. And currently in market, I've written it 20 major RPA technologies are available, but practically there are 40 plus technologies available in market. They are not major, small technologies. So in RPA there are so many technologies, because as I said, RPA doesn't mean you'll always have to build robots. You can just automate the process without building robots, with writing a simple script or something. There are technologies which help you to do that as well. So next, what is the future of this technology? 5 to 10 years. So future of the technology. If I say what is the future of RPA, because if you have seen the previous slides, as I said, this RPA has been introduced in 2015-16 in India mostly. So we have already passed 7 years here, more than 7 years in fact. So a technology in IT have to update, have to upgrade every time. Every day the technology is changing. So what is the future of this RPA? That's a big question. So first, the RPA needs to be introduced. What I feel personally I really feel this personally, that RPA needs to be introduced in product based companies. Nowadays, mostly the service based companies, they use RPA, the IT companies mostly. But the product based companies, they must have scopes for RPA as well. The RPA have to find edges, because I have seen some product based companies in different industries, in pharma industry, in solar project industry. They use RPA, but not in a high scale. They use it in a very small scale and very with a very limited scope. So there we have part, because nowadays cars also, if you go into automobile sector, um, the cars are also very technology freak. They're not up. If you take a car nowadays, a new car, that is not a purely mechanical device. We have sensors, we have so many electronic parts there. Software updates, most important. The EVs nowadays, they have this software updates, everything. So there these RPAs can be useful, what do you feel, in next 5 to 10 years. Next, the data science in RPA. This is the key. This is a kind of eye opener to the entire world, when we can use this data science with RPA, and we are using it now. That's true, but it can be done in a very high scale. So data science means. Do you know what is data science, by the way? Anyone? Okay, no. So data science means dealing with data largely. Means data science means analyzing data. It means if you have seen now, because so many the most of the companies, this be it Google, be it Facebook, they actually use your data to analyze your nature, and to just to manipulate you in some of the cases, I would say. Because suppose you in Google, if you have searched the best mobile phones in India 2023 with this heading, just after searching that, if you open Facebook, you'd find ads of mobile phones. That's what happens. So the data science is like analyzing data, not only on this part. Data science is very important when you are predicting the future in some of the cases. Like for example, in automobile sector, if I say, so using the not only automobile sector, I a few years back I did a project like this in a travel and transportation industry. Travel and transportation means where they move cargo ships from one place to another place of the world. So they're using the previous data. Our job was to find out the predictions. Like we have to predict the orders for next 3 weeks. So that is a kind of data science as well. So like you'll have to analyze data what we have previously, then have to analyze so many facts. What can happen in next 3 weeks? What can be the weather? What orders can come? And based on that, we'll have to predict what is the probable orders for next 3 weeks. So if we can introduce that data science part, and data science means the technology. If I say in data science, the most important technology is Python. If you have heard about, so Python is a data science technology, and the important thing is in UiPath is already compatible with Python. In UiPath, you can write Python codes. So that's a good thing in this combination. Next, the process mining and task mining. This is also important, but this is not a pure technical things, because nowadays this process mining, task mining is becoming very important, because in some of the large organizational process, we do not need to introduce robots always. With using this process mining and task mining, we can solve the problem. Like what is this process mining means? Suppose there is a high transactional process, because in a large organization, the entire end-to-end process, end-to-end flow, maybe end-to-end flow of an invoice is not that much smooth. Process mining and task mining is to analyze the gaps in the process and analyze where it is lagging, what is the pain points, and solving that. So that is very important. And nowadays, not nowadays, since last 1 or 2 years, so many companies got introduced in this sector. Like Celonis, UiPath also introduced UiPath Process Gold for this process mining and task mining. Next, if I say what are the similar competitors of UiPath, as I said, nowadays we have 40 plus and 20 plus major RPA technologies in market. But who are the major competitor of UiPath? First is Blue Prism, obviously. So Blue Prism, at one time, Blue Prism was the best RPA tool in market at some time. Then UiPath, now since the last a few years, UiPath took that place. So UiPath is most important competition is Blue Prism. Then also we have Automation Anywhere, we have Cryon, we have Nice. So these are different technologies in RPA we have now. And next about the certifications. So certification available, it is yes. Basic certification to advanced, everything is available in market. And who can accept this certification? Any organization, any major MNC, they accept this certification. And some MNCs actually they ask for certification before the interview. And now with basic FAQs. So the most important question you face in your life whenever you give an interview about RPA, this automation, the difference between this automation testing and RPA. So because now also so many people they don't understand what is automation testing and what is RPA. Some people think this automation testing is same as RPA, but it's not true. Automation testing means it's testing with automated scripts, which is Selenium. And RPA means automating the entire process, not only testing. It's automating the end-to-end thing. The next question can be what is this UI in UiPath? So UI means user interface. So user interface are the applications where the robot acts, where the robot had do something, some work. Next, how important is coding experience in RP development? This can be a question as well. So if I say that coding experience is not at all required in RPA, that won't be 100% true statement. So coding experience or coding knowledge, not experience, coding knowledge is not that much important in RPA. Without coding knowledge, you can develop robots. Absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. So you can develop robots. But if you have coding experience or coding knowledge, your life would become a bit easier. So you can write it, you can develop it faster. So not that much coding, but small things, small methods. And if you know the, I don't know if you know it or not, this UiPath, Blue Prism, these most do major tools, they use the .NET framework in behind. uh, I mean, when the activities we are using in UiPath, those are actually written in .NET in behind. We don't have to do anything. It is already pre-written by UiPath. So if someone is having some sort of knowledge in .NET, the methods, the class, and all, so they can use it more proficiently. That's the only thing. But without coding knowledge, anyone can develop UiPath robots. Not a big deal. Okay, so that's all from my end. So any question, anything you want to know, anyone you want to ask, you can.
Being a freshers,
Mhm.
what is the chance to get place in company like calls and interviews?
There are chances. Definitely, there are chances. If you, because I know companies now. I've seen openings like this where the companies want freshers in RPA. So if you have the RPA knowledge, if you have this certification, or if you know how to build it robots, definitely it would give you an edge in those sectors. There are opportunities, definitely yes. But again, being a fresher, you cannot expect to be a solution architect. You cannot expect to be a business analyst or program manager.
Okay.
Definitely
Just
not.
like being a step, like first step is developer, then tester.
No, not like this. Not first page developer tester. It depends on you that how you learn it and how confident you are and what opportunity you're getting. So developer, tester, or support, those are same. Those are in the same step. So it
Okay.
you can do anything. If you can start with development. If you get an opportunity as a developer, so definitely you can start with a developer. Tester also, if that depends what opportunity you're getting. So development experience is important because since we will be learning UiPath in this entire curriculum technically.
First of all, I will go with developer na.
Obviously, yes, development is very important. So developer is having more opportunities. If you know how to develop robots, that will solve most of the problems in your career.
Mm.
Definitely developer.
What is the
So
minimum package being selected at freshers?
sorry, missed it. Please come again.
What is the expected package being selected as a freshers?
That depends on where you are getting selected, what opportunities. That I cannot comment on. So that depends on the location. That depends on what
Minimum,
opportunities you have. There
minimum
is no
package.
minimum maximum. There is no minimum in IT industry. If you ask someone, if they say for this job this is the minimum package, it's not true because it depends on the company you're working. The same profile in the same profile. Suppose you are working in a big organization, you can get suppose a 5 lakh package. Suppose, and
Okay.
if in the same profile, if you're working in a startup, you will get 8 lakhs package. So
Okay.
definitely depends on the organization. It depends on the location as well. In the same profile, if you're working in Bangalore, you will get a higher package. If you're working in Salem, you will get a lower package, or maybe in Kolkata also you will get lower package because the cost of living is less in those places.
Okay.
So it depends. So there is no such range. If you ask me, what is the highest range and lowest range? No. Okay. Anything else? I think no. So I think we are good to close